Hello everyone, this is Group 9. Everyone watching this, we are here to present to you about the Windows installation, the Linux installation, and finally how to do a dual boot, that is basically using the grab boot loader. And starting off from our video, yes, as usual, we are 5: Opaki, Kellen, Sad, Peter, and finally Douglas. So starting off, we are starting with the Windows installation. Here we are trying to configure our computer, and here we're making the flash. We're using bootable. We're using a USB SanDisk. We're trying to make it bootable with the Windows ISO file. It took some time. We waited for it to get bootable, and it's what we're going to use in our process of installing Windows. In fact, this is the first step you take, of course, after backing up your files. Then here it's us now restarting the computer so that we can go into the boot menu by pressing F12. This is our boot menu. We look for where our USB is and we choose it. Then the computer logs into the Windows installation menu. Yes, we select our Windows 11 Pro. We give it quite some time. There we are, very tired, as you can see, waiting and waiting, yeah, for our Windows to install. But finally it began there installing. It's there now, it's loading so that we can be able to choose our special customizations of our Windows installation. Yeah, it took some time. It's all about being patient while doing this step and being keen on every step you take. So here, after us waiting for it to load, the next screen came up from this place, and we're able to choose the language, the keyboard that we want to use, and that's the QWERTY keyboard. Yes, there is us trying to configure which keyboard to use. Then there is us choosing some few customizations of the Windows 11. It's not a hard step, it's just like a simple part. And it will ask you to connect to the internet at some point from here, such that you can be able to configure certain things and can install some drivers and check for updates. Here we're entering our username, created the account, and now it's loading so that you can get into the Windows startup. Yes, it's almost finishing from there. As usual, it's all about patience, being patient enough. Yeah, and then here we can see it now restarting. Give it some time to restart. It restarts quite some number of times. There we are very happy that the installation has finally worked. So finally our Windows began. You can see there saying this may take a moment, but this is the final part. Here we can see our Windows screen. That is our Windows screen right there. You can see how nice it is. That's Windows 11 Pro. We're trying to navigate through it. It was quite a good experience installing this. As we said, you have to first start by making it bootable, back up your files, go into the startup boot menu, and you can be able to follow the steps from there and install your Windows safely. Watch out so that your computer does not crash. Follow the steps. That was all about Windows installation. Let's head over to the Linux installation. So here we are trying to configure the computer so that we can add in our Linux, such that we can have a dual boot. And the Linux we chose is Kali Linux. We decided to go with Kali Linux because it's the one we feel we can easily have experience on, though we have Ubuntu also, but we decided to use the Kali Linux. So from here on, as usual, the first step is to make our USB bootable. We're using a USB here. We had to first make it bootable using Rufus. There it is, almost finishing to become bootable, such that we can use it in our installation process. Yes, so when we finish that step, now here we are trying to restart the computer. I'm pressing F12, and that's the boot menu, so that we can be able to choose our USB again. Those are the different partitions we have, the different devices we have. So we shall look for the USB. Ours is a SanDisk and a UEFI. Yes, we choose it, and when we choose it, we shall be able to go into the Kali Linux installation menu. and there we are choosing what we want, and we chose the USB SanDisk. So that is our Kali Linux screen right there, the installation menu. We choose the graphical and it begins from there, and now here is us waiting for it to load, such that we choose the available functions that we want and customize it to the best of our abilities. We gave it some time to load, but yeah, as we said, it's all about being patient with the process. So when it got done, this is now us trying to configure it, choosing some other few functions there and here. It was an easy step, but it's really needed to follow up very well to prevent making any mistakes. There we chose, now that's the partition side. Of course, we had our partition already created, and from here we had already created the partitions. So here we decided to use the next available disk, the next large available disk. Now here is us trying to put in our username, password, because it is required while setting up the Linux operating system, that is the Kali Linux itself. So after finishing that configuration, it began loading for quite some time as we're waiting for it to restart again, such that we can get into our Linux. So here is us giving it some time to load. There's too much loading here. That's us during the installation process. A few pictures here and there, just for the memories. Yes, so next there you can see our boot menu. Yes, this time is the grab bootloader, where you shall be able to choose from the either Windows or Linux operating system. And as we want to choose the Linux, yes, that is it. That's it after loading. That's our Linux operating system. That's how it looks like. Yes, that is our Linux right there. That is us trying to record some videos, take pictures. It was quite a memorable day. Yes, that are the group members around. All so happy after installing the Kali Linux. There is me trying to use it a bit, to navigate through it, to see what lies inside the Linux operating system. So from there on, let me try to show you the Windows, how to use the bootloader to choose the Windows. So we are going to try and use the grab bootloader here. That is it. We choose, you can see our Windows is the middle one. So we shall be able to click on it so that we see whether it will take us into the Windows we had installed earlier. And that is basically how we use this grab bootloader. Yes, so here is our Windows loading. As you see, the Windows 11 startup. So it's taking us into the Windows platform because our computer is now running on a dual boot. Yes, as we had told you earlier. That is a dual boot for, it's a dual boot for Windows and Kali Linux. Yes, that's our Windows screen and these are our pictures. Thank you for watching our video, and these are the credits. See you next time.